Good morning, guys. Vlog one of, I guess, my new season in life, and just gonna walk you through a couple things from our first trip, which was up in New York last week. Now, right now I'm not in New York, and if the sound can give it away a little bit, you can probably tell I'm currently at the beach. You can get used to that. Yeah, I can too, but that's not the case every day, every trip. And I promise you, because last week was a prime example of the flip side. It's definitely not like this every time. It could be like that. But anyway, so the trip last week was to the Niagara River area, Niagara Falls in New York. And yeah, we got to fish on Ontario, Erie, the Niagara River, below the falls and all that good stuff. I mean, it was a pretty unique trip. I was able to catch my largest smallmouth, my first walleye. I mean, it was a very unique trip, to say the least, and the filming was pretty cool, and hence the vlog and what I'm going to be talking about. I really learned a lot about the A6400 because I used it almost solely for the entire trip up there. Impressive little camera. Again, if you're looking to get into a mirrorless camera and you just don't have full frame money, then this A6400 is going to be a very pleasing second choice. I promise you, it's a great little camera. Does very well in photography, especially if you got some prime lenses, and if you have the little extra money, that 18-105 power zoom lens is going to be the best all arounder. So if you can just get this camera and one lens, that would be the setup I would get, because that can cover you for fishing, hiking, hunting. You know, if you're doing hunting and you're a bow hunter or turkey hunter, that is going to be I mean, that's all you'll need. You just need that one lens, one camera, and yeah, it was very doable. Okay, so the only gripe I have with that that lovely little setup is the wide end of the 18mm is probably not wide enough. Okay, being on boats and stuff, you need a fairly wide lens, and the 18 was acting more like a 29 or a 30mm when you actually need about a 24 or 25, just because of the close proximity. You're getting really close to the fishermen because of the small boats that you'll be on and whatnot. So if you're on the bigger boats, that's not that big of a deal, but it's still nice to have that extra width, which you do not have. So if the width is your primary objective and you love to get kind of tight on some people and be in close quarters of how you film and all that, then the 18-105 is probably not for you. Okay, you'll probably need to go to that 16-70 f4, I think it is, a Zeiss lens. But with that one, you don't have the power zoom, and that was a very handy feature on this trip. I mean, I handheld 95% of the work that I did on the boats, if not 99, and with having that power zoom and the touch feature of the LCD screen on the A6400, focusing and working and operating the camera was a breeze. Okay, I could as you guys know, I have the small rig cage set up on the 6400. While I was holding, with two hands the camera, the left hand was able to use and manipulate the power zoom, which is on the side of the lens, and my right hand, my right thumb specifically, was able to use that for my touch area. So I turned the touch feature on the LCD and I used it to touch to focus, and that worked out very well. So if one person was talking, then the other person was talking, but they were a lot closer, I can just touch on them and it would zoom and be right on. So very effective setup. So I'm not going to say that anymore, because that's a good setup. A6400 18-105 will probably do you for any short distance, short range type of filming that you'll need with that setup. So just keep that in mind. Now, the second piece of gear that I really was impressed with, and I bought it just prior to going up there, is the Think Tank rain cover in the medium size specifically, because it's designed for 70-200 lenses on full frame cameras, and And yeah, it was perfect, you know, with the rain and just being on boats and stuff. If you've never had the experience of filming on fishing trips and whatnot, especially if you go out there on offshore, the waves and the wind will create mist and it'll get all over your camera, even if it's a perfect day, just like this. You know, it's a little bit windy out there, but as you're riding and you hit them waves, that sea spray will come up and get on your camera. And so I would have it on a day like this as well, and it kept my camera dry. It stayed affixed to the lens very well. And yeah, and it has a cool little feature where you can have a cold shoe mount for the see-through panel, so you can use the LCD, you can see all your menus and all that fun stuff. You can operate your camera looking through that panel, and as you have it, you know, snugly fit onto the cold shoe with that little adapter that's built into the rain cover, you could actually look through the panel into your viewfinder, your electronic viewfinder. Great piece of kit. And whenever I get some more gear, which would probably be the Rode Wireless Go, I'll be able to use that for the 6400, and that will probably be a very, very ideal setup, because you know, you won't have that big fluffiness of the Rode Micro or another Rode shotgun mic that's sitting on top, and it'll kind of shrink up your camera, you know, I guess set up and rig to where it can fit into the rain cover a lot easier and be more conducive to audio as well. But one thing I did notice, in 120 frames per second on the a6400 with this lens, which is probably the camera more than anything, it was a little soft, and you did get a little moire and aliasing a little more than the regular frame rates. But I mean, it's a $900 camera. I mean, what can you expect? I mean, 5 years ago we was paying $4,000 and $5,000 for a camera to do 120 frames per second, and now we're taking $800 or $900. That's crazy. So I'm not going to complain too much. 4K was very sharp, the 60p was pretty sharp, and the 24 and 30p was pretty sharp as well, but not as sharp as the 4K. But again, it's APS-C entry-level type camera. If you got any other questions, definitely hit me in the comments below, and we'll add that to our list to answer those questions, or get a video out about it. And yeah, but there you go. 18-105 is a very good setup, especially for hand holding your camera. That's all I did while I was on the boats, and as some of the clips can show, you can get some very, very good footage as long as you're not running up and down the boat, or you know, or sprinting with it. And you can actually walk with it fairly well, even though the camera does not have IBIS. So anyways, there you go, guys. Enjoy the view one last time. So that's vlog one. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. And again, the a6400 is a phenomenal, you know, B camera. It's definitely a phenomenal entry level when you're trying to get serious about your video work and photography work. It's definitely a good, solid camera for that. So if you got any questions, again, just hit me up below. We'll go from there. But till next time, guys, get the gear that's right for you, because only you can do your projects. And since we only usually have one chance to get it right, why not do it right and do it once? Till next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video.